when we experience something in this moment, right now, or the moments before, whatever the moment is, it also wants you to experience it fully, not holding back. Oh, angry. Oh, I shouldn't be feeling angry. Jealousy. Oh, let's sweep it under the carpet. Let's change the topic. Let's change my focus to something else. It wants you to experience the moment fully. And so the divine or the creator or God can experience what it likes to be you. By you experiencing the world fully, you are doing God's work. So that's pretty much what was the purpose of this third density that was created. Of each density or each dimension, there is a certain number of years before we graduate. I don't have the exact number of years in front of me, but from memory, the first and second density, each one of them goes for millions of years, if not like over 100 million years. The third density out of the seventh density, and if you like to refer to density as almost like school grades, like going to year 1, year 2, year 3, we are in the third year out of 7 years. And the third year is the shortest. It only goes for 75,000 years compared to millions of years. Why is it only that short? I don't have the answer to that. Perhaps because it's the most challenging, it's one of the more difficult ones to be, where you got so much of the polarity happening. It's the density that we've got the veil of forgetting, but we also have the polar opposite to feel the extreme. And so we are now towards the end of the 75,000 years. Some people say it started at 2012, towards the end of 2012, when we changed to the age of Aquarius. But the transition of graduation, it can happen roughly over 700 years. We don't have an exact timeline because it depends on different things. It's like, when do your kids wake up in the morning? They wake up randomly. Sometimes they get up early, sometimes they get up later, sometimes they miss school. So same thing, like there's no exact time frame on when we are all going to shift and graduate. And there's basically two ways that you can graduate to the fourth density, which is the density of love, where we get to learn about love, more about what love is. And what love that is being referred to in the fourth density is not the romantic love that I give you roses to my lover or my intimate partner. It's not the love that we give to a child. It's not the love that we love sushi. We love a certain cuisine. It's not like I love my favorite movie. This is a different type of love that most of us may not have the experience of feeling, that the oneness type of love, a greater sense of love and unconditional love. So that's where we're going, is towards the fourth density before going to fifth, sixth, and seventh. But how do we graduate? There's two ways. There's two paths. One is the path of service to self. One is the path of service to others. And the service to self is generally regarded as the negative path, and service to others is the positive path. And the reason that we use positive and negative, they kind of like the battery charge, that you got positive charge and negative charge. Is positive charge better than negative? No, they both like the same battery. They just come from different ends. So it's kind of the same thing. Positive doesn't mean it's better than negative. And so it's not good and evil, it's not good and bad. It's just positive and negative. Because after all, even whatever path that you choose, you can still graduate. It's not like you've taken a wrong path. It's almost like I played the game of life, the board game, with my kids recently. One path, you can choose a professional career. One, you can skip university or college and start your career a bit earlier. Either path is fine. One path can end up making more than the other. And so that there isn't a set path that would guarantee you the most number of kids and the most number of wives or husbands, or the most number or the highest paying job. To speak on the service to other, the positive path, to qualify and graduate within that path, you basically have to be 51% or higher in service to others. If you fall below 51%, then you don't graduate within this path. To graduate in the path of service to self, you need to be under 5% service to others. So most of your time that you're focusing on service to self, if you 91% or more service to self, then you graduate as someone that's going through this negative path. Examples of people that's graduated from, or famous people that we may know that graduated from the positive path: Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa. Those are prime examples of service to others. Examples of people that have graduated in the negative path: Genghis Khan, where, if you don't know, Genghis Khan is basically this person in Mongolian region that basically united Mongolia by winning a lot of the wars, expanded to Russia, to Europe, to China. Basically, Mongolia had one of the biggest territory under his leadership. What made him so brutal was that a lot of the region, if not all of the region that he conquered, a lot of the times he would slaughter all these people that are defenseless, that have surrendered. He would just slaughter them alive. And the remaining part, he may capture them as slaves. And so hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people were slaughtered by him. So he graduated to the service to self, the negative path. And one of the questions that Dawn asked Ra, what about Adolf Hitler? Did he graduate as the path of service to self? And Hitler, if you don't know, is obviously infamous in the Second World War and basically responsible for killing more than 11 million people. And all this brutality that I don't want to go too deep into, but he didn't qualify to service to self, surprisingly. The reason that Ra said he was quite, I guess you can call it delusional, in a way that he feels that what he was doing was actually benefiting Germany. And it was just benefiting his people. He truly believed it. So he believed that he was following, to some extent, the service to others path. So he didn't graduate. So as you can see, from if Hitler didn't graduate to the service to self, then it's not that easy to graduate through that path. You basically have to shut off your heart center, your heart energy center, your heart chakra, to not be open your heart to compassion and caring and all that. And so I guess if you're listening to this podcast or this show, you most likely want to pursue the service to others path. And if we are educated, that's what our mission is at the early stage of our life, and our parents and the people around us model this behavior, how cool would that be? How easy would that be? What a different world and planet that we live in. I guess because we haven't been educated about this, we've been educated that we are separate. You and I, we are different. Even with a lot of the religion, when we look back in history, where a lot of the religion waged some sort of holy wars and have slaves serving them, that was an acceptable way of pursuing spirituality, apparently. And even if you are following certain ideology, rather than just looking at everyone, and not just everyone, but plants and animal and all living things as one, and treating them with compassion, then you're still following the path of service to self. You're following the negative path. I guess in hindsight, it's not too difficult to see when you have a holy war, regardless of what the rationale is, it's not the world that we want to live in. It's not the world of love that we want to graduate towards. So having woken up to this information, I even find myself, even yesterday when I'm mowing the lawn, I've never mowed a neighbor's lawn before. And I'm not talking mowing his whole lawn, but even an extra stretch of it, because it's almost like it's his I better not touch it, or not better not touch it. But yeah, it's just like I've been conditioned myself, just stay within my own domain and my own border. But with that in mind, one of the teachings from Law of One is to follow the path of service to others. It's not always easy, because it's usually, most often, we would have to sacrifice something of ourselves, time, energy, money, whatever it is, to serve other people. And I have to sacrifice my own energy and time to service other people, because I remember the teachings. If I want to graduate, let's do that. And it's not just about graduating. It's like, yeah, why am I just living within my silo, my own comfort zone? Serving other people from my heart is not such a foreign feeling. It's just in my head, the conditioning and watching other people around. Maybe I should just not say hi to the person next to me because I don't know that person. Maybe I shouldn't smile at the person in the lift because I may look weird or creepy. But these are the conditionings. But my heart tells me is to spread joy, is to help other people, is to be kind, is to be compassionate, is to be non-judgmental. So yeah, it definitely, with this teaching, it has influenced my behavior. All the stuff that we see in the third dimension reality, Ra talks about, it's an illusion, it's a distortion. It may seem extremely real, and scientifically we may be able to measure it. So all is not as it is seen. As we know that each thing, when we put it under the microscope to the subatomic particle, most of which are just empty space. It's just empty space. It's energy, it's chi, it's light, ZPT, ZPE, 0 point energy, it's prana, it's chi, it's ether. It's also called potential. The empty space is also called potential. And the world that we live in, based on the Hindu tradition, they'll call it Maya, the world of illusion. So these are not new information just exclusive to Ra. It's supportive from other indigenous and ancient scriptures that talks about what this is. And occasionally, when we challenge this illusionary nature of reality, when we challenge the empty space that we just talked about as potential, what do we have? Usually, I know that you've walked on fire, walked on coal, because you challenge a belief that cannot be done. Skin gets burnt under hot coal. We have people experience miraculous, spontaneous admission, they call it, miracle healing. Suddenly, stage 4 cancer just disappeared overnight. That's when we challenge our limitation of what our potential is. That is when you have a mother lifting up a car when the little child is trapped under the car. How could that have happened? This defies logic, because all this is an illusion. An illusion, or you can call it potential, is bendable. It's bendable on what we believe is our limitations. So to sum it up, if we look at this game of life as a very flat game board, as a two-dimensional play, we would, let's just make money to survive. We would try to find love, find acceptance, find respect, try to get a good job, try to build a family, and make some friends, all to try to feel some void inside. Because after you get the money, I need more money, I need more things. We're chasing from the external to try to fill a void inside that cannot be filled with external stuff. Or we focus on the real reason that we're here is to fully experience and incorporate a 3D equivalent of a game board and the flat game board. We don't ignore the flat game board. I'm just not going to eat. I'm just not going to work. I'm just going to sit and meditate. No, it's incorporating both the 3D, the real game that we're playing at, but rather than just looking at the game board as just flat, we need to take a step back to see the totality of what is happening. Imagine if we're seeing what is raining right now for the last 5 days, and we believe the whole world, the whole entire planet is raining for the last 5 days. That is a very narrow view. If we are having a bad day, we assume everyone is having a bad day. That's a very narrow view. To think that our aim is to create the best external material world that we can for ourselves, there's a very narrow view. It's like a kindergarten view. But to graduate to the 4th grade, we need to start to remember. And some of the people on this planet came from 4th grade. They've graduated. Some came from the 5th grade even. They've graduated, but they came back to help our fellow brothers and sisters. And some of you guys on this call may be one of them. And that's why I love these contents. It just resonates. It's remembering. It's not like new information. It struck a chord. Resonance. It vibrates at the right frequency that you're feeling that. It's singing to my heart. It's singing to my soul.